1947, in an undisclosed location somewhere in an Axis city, a massive energy spike is recorded by both the US and Axis forces as they surge to try and figure out what's going on and get their hands on the potentially valuable resource. Elite Firefly forces and US mechanized units show down against the occult forces of Heinrich Gross, who will get their hands on this potential rift anomaly on this week's battle report of Konflikt 47. Hey, how's it going? Mike from Mike Rolls Dice, and welcome back for another battle report of Konflikt 47. If you're new here, we have a ton of different games that we feature on the channel. Feel free to check it out. And as always, I want to thank our YouTube members and everyone that tunes in and watches the channel here. Support means a lot, and I couldn't do it without you folks. Alright, with that out of the way, let's go over the army list, starting off with my US forces. So coming in at 1,499 points, we have my US Army list for today. Starting off with Assault Platoon number 1. Leading the first Assault Platoon, we have a Firefly officer here, a regular platoon commander, equipped with his Thompson and an ATRD, as well as an extra point of luck. Then we have a Paragon squad. This is a 3-man squad, all equipped with close combat weapons and a heavy Tesla rifle. Next up, we have a 6-man Firefly Airborne squad. These are all equipped with the special Thompson submachine guns. Firefly Squad Alpha, ready for your order. Next up is Assault Platoon number 2. Leading the second Assault Platoon, we have an inexperienced platoon commander, which I paid for an extra point of guts. Then we have another Paragon squad, same exact loadout as the previous one, and another 6-man Firefly squad, all with the Thompson submachine guns. Last but not least, we have an armored platoon, and for the armored platoon, we have a Tesla Sherman. This is equipped with the larger Tesla cannon, which is 1 attack, Tesla Arc 3, and +2 pen.
Alright, let's get this over with. I'm ready to go fishing.
Then we have our command vehicle, which is the Kodiak Walker, equipped with an HMG and autocannon on each arm for quite a lot of firepower.
Yeah. Get your head in the game, man.
And last but not least, I'm trying out the new Bruin Walker, which is equipped with a multi-rocket launch system for an HE-3 template, as well as an anti-tank gun. And that rounds out my US forces, coming in at 1,499 points. Now on to Rev's Axis forces. So Rev is playing his Occult Axis army today again, coming in around 1,500 points, and starting off with the Assault Platoon, which is being led by a new platoon commander officer. Rev paid for an extra point of Rift Mastery so she can create a surgeon die and give it to a unit.
Now shall be my time.
Next up, we have the newly updated points-wise Heinrich Gross, and he just has 2 bodyguard soldiers with the advanced body armor rule and the Schmeiser SMGs. Then we have 2 Nacht Alban squads, and the Nacht Albans are equipped with the upgraded SMGs with the +1 pen.
Ready, man? We will feast on the corpses.
Then we have 2 6-man Nacht Jaeger squads. They have the ability to use their Rift Die to be able to attack first if the unit's not in a defended position. Last but not least, we have a Walker platoon with the Panzer IV Walker equipped with the Schwerfield cannon, which is quite deadly. It is also veteran, so it comes with a surging die due to the Axis special rules, and attached to the Walker platoon is 1 more Nacht Alban squad, all equipped with the upgraded SMGs. So today's mission is one we've been putting off for a while, and it's the intelligence mission. Essentially, there is a piece of intelligence in the form of Coot Jenkins, an interdimensional traveler from the Savage Worlds Deadlands game and a D&D character of mine that I've played in the past. And he had the unfortunate event of just popping up randomly in the Konflikt universe here in the center of the board. And both armies are going to try and have to pick up Coot Jenkins and try and take him off the board.
Ah!
Oh no, not again. I was supposed to be mining my gold. Once they've captured Coot Jenkins, they need to try and then get off the board. So we're playing the intelligence mission rule where we're using Coot Jenkins here to simulate a valuable piece of documents or something like that. They're interested in trying to figure out how this crazy old prospecting gold miner ended up here from the 1800s in 1947 in the remnants of war-torn Germany. So it's pretty simple. Both armies need to get Coot and get him off their board on their deployment edge. So the infiltrators are deployed. We have Rev actually forward deploying one of the Nachtalben squads in my deployment zone.
They will never expect us back here.
And then I took my 2 Paragon squads and placed them forward on the board. You have to stay outside of 12 inches from the intelligence marker. And Rev also putting his other 2 Nachtalben squads on his side of the board, including one in the bunker. Alright, with the map layout and the infiltrators all set up, we're ready for the start of the game with the start of turn 1. We're starting off the game here with the start of turn 1, and right off the bat, a squad of US Fireflies makes their way onto the board, and they're going to be taking aim at the Nachtalben that are in my deployment zone. They're going to be firing their Tesla Thompson rifles at the Nachtalben squad. And only needing 2s to hit, but needing 5s to wound, they only managed to take out one of the Nachtalben in point-blank range. So next up, the inexperienced platoon commander on the US side is advancing onto the board and is using a point of guts to put the Firefly's dice back in the bag. Rev attempting to activate the Nachtalben squad that were just fired at by the Fireflies before they get to go again, but the 1 pin that the Fireflies put on them from firing the Tesla Thompsons managed to make them fail their order test. So the Paragon squad on the left here forward deployed are running now and picking up Coot Jenkins with their 16-inch fast movement. And being that their Paragons using their ability to now generate a point of guts and put their dice back in the bag.
Come on, Mr. Jenkins. You're now property of the U.S. military. You're coming with us.
And now, after pulling another U.S. dice out of the bag, the Paragons are up and they're going to run.
This isn't about tax evasion, right? I paid that $3 to that man back in the 1800s.
Now it's turn 1 and the U.S. already has the intelligence marker and are very close to the edge of the board, so Rev is going to need to try and stop them. But you're only able to activate a unit twice per turn at most using your guts, so that's as far as the Paragons are going to get this turn.
Where the hell you guys taking me?
Don't worry, sir. Just come with us and you'll be fine. I recommend not resisting.
So now the Bruin Walker advances onto the board here using its 12-inch movement, and using its thermal imaging, it can tell that there's Nachtalben inside that bunker. It's going to be firing its medium anti-tank cannon and its multi-launch rocket system at the Nachtalben. Starting off with the anti-tank gun, using its HE2 profile. And then its rocket launch system, but unfortunately missing with both. So now a 6-man unit of Nachtjäger are flying onto the board here. Being that they have wide formation, they are slowly making their way, trying to get to the center of the board. And on the US side now, a dice is pulled out of the bag, and the Kodiak Walker now advances onto the board with its 24 HMG shots and its 4 autocannon shots. It's going to be firing at the Nachtjäger, starting off with its autocannons. And after rolling all of the attacks on the HMGs and giving Rev a soft cover save here, only managing to save one of the cover saves, losing 2 of the Nachtjäger. So now after putting the Firefly dice back in the bag, I'm going to activate them again, and they're going to just stand still and fire at the Nachtalben in my deployment. Again, needing 2s into 5s here. This time managing better though, and taking 3 of the Nachtolben out that are out in the open. And the Paragons that are forward deployed by the building here are activating, and they are going to fire, standing still, taking a gamble. Turns out only the Tesla's in range with its 18-inch, and it's going to be firing 1 shot. And after missing with the Tesla rifle, the Paragons use their ability, activating a Rift Ice to generate a point of guts. So now the US Firefly platoon commander is advancing onto the board, and at point blank range, opening up on the Nachtolben in my deployment. Unfortunately, just resulting in a pin. And Brev's platoon commander now running onto the board, using her Rift Mastery to actually give the Nachtjäger a surging die, thus making them fearless. And for the US, the Tesla Sherman is now driving on the board. It now has line of sight on the Nachtjäger from my deployment side, and activating a Rift Ice for its Tesla arc, generating 4 shots. But starting off with the hull-mounted MMG first. And with the Tesla cannon avoiding cover and the Nachtjäger being out in the open, one of them's taken out from the Tesla cannon. So now the Panzer IV is shambling onto the board. It is slower than all the other walkers, unfortunately, but it gets enough movement and gets line of sight with its Schwerfield cannon. And it's going to be firing at the Paragons that have Coot Jenkins. Being that's the only veteran vehicle, it gets a free surging die. And activating its Rift Die, it generated a template with a Schwerfield cannon, taking out 2 of the Paragons.
What the hell's going on out here?
We're taking heavy fire!
So now the Nachtolben squad that were targeted in the bunker by the Bruin Walker are now advancing forward with their fast movement, getting into the ruins there, running into the ruins, and then after activating, going on ambush using their Rift ability. And the other Nachtolben squad near Rev's deployment running as well, getting out into the center, seeing the Paragons with the intelligence, aka Coot Jenkins. And after activating their ability and completing their order, they go on ambush as well. So now at the end of the turn here, Rev seeing if the Nachtolben units on ambush are firing on a 4-up. And the Nachtolben in the ruins aren't, but the ones out in the open, with one of the Nachtolben being in range, are firing at the Paragon. And with the one Nachtolben being in range, managing to take out the Paragon. Now leaving Coot Jenkins, aka the intelligence folder, sitting out in the open waiting for an infantry to pick it up. And with that, that is the end of turn 1. With the intelligence being so close to my edge but now dropping, we're moving on to the start of turn 2. Started turn 2 here, and Rev is up first. He's going to be running with the Nachtolben squad that took out the last Paragon, and they're going to be attempting to make their way to Coot Jenkins. With their fast movement and running, they successfully make it there, and Rev deciding he actually had the movement, and he, being out of my line of arc on the Bruin, he actually gets to charge the Bruin without it shooting, so he decides to do that instead. The Bruin, though, does get a free attack first using its leg. Takes out one of the Nachtolben, but with the Nachtolben having tough fighters and due to being surging, they manage to take out the Bruin in close combat and then consolidate onto Coot Jenkins, aka the intelligence marker. So now the Americans are up, and the Tesla Sherman here is going to be activating. It's going to advance by pivoting and getting line of sight on the unit that now has Coot Jenkins.
Time we show this Axis scum that we mean business. Prepare for fire order.
Activating its Rift Die for the Tesla Arc ability. First, it's firing its hull-mounted MMG at the Nachtolben holding the intelligence. even after shooting point blank range, only managing a pin on the unit. Pulling dice out of the bag managed to roll a surging die for the Paragons. So now the American platoon commander, seeing that the intelligence marker is now under the Axis control, runs towards the Tesla tank and, using his last point of guts, puts its dice back in the bag.
What are you doing, damn it? Finish off those Axis monsters and let's get the hell out of here.
But now the knocked Alban unit in the ruins with Fieldcraft are actually charging out of the ruins, which they're able to do with Fieldcraft, and are charging the Tesla Sherman tank and are attempting to take it out like the last unit did with the Walker. But being that I put the Sherman's dice back in the bag, it will be shooting first without its Tesla arc ability, being that they are charging from outside 6 inches. Unfortunately, not managing much effect with its guns, the knocked Alban now attacked the Tesla Sherman all at once. But only managing to stun and immobilize the Sherman in the first round of combat, forcing the Sherman down and adding extra pins. They're locked. I believe the way the vehicle combat works is the same as regular melee, so we decide the knocked Alban make a additional round of attacks, and they are able to take out the Tesla Sherman in the second round of combat, and then reconsolidate behind the building. So now the Americans are up here with the Kodiak Walker now hearing the explosion of the Tesla Sherman over the radio, decides to advance over and attempt to now shoot the unit that just blew up the Sherman in close quarters combat. It's going to be firing all of its HMGs and autocannons at the knocked Alban. But being that Rev used his ability to put his unit on ambush, as he does with every activation of the knocked Alban, they are now able to countercharge after the Kodiak moved into charge range.
They're all over me! I'm surrounded!
But the Kodiak moving is going to get free attacks with its arms and legs first. And then the knocked Alban attacking. In the first round of combat, and both units attacking in the second round of combat, the Kodiak actually manages to win the combat, thus causing the knocked Alban to flee off the board. But the Kodiak's not able to shoot afterwards, unfortunately, due to being charged on ambush. So now Rev attempting to activate again with the knocked Alban unit in my deployment, but unfortunately they fail their order test and go down. And the full Firefly squad is attempting to take out that knocked Alban squad with a fire order.
Why won't you die?
Prepare for fire!
After 2 turns of shooting, they're finally able to take out that knocked Alban squad.
You damn Axis scum.
So now the Panzer IV is activating. It's advancing forward to get line of sight on the Fireflies, and Rev passing his order test here, losing a pin, and using its surging die going to exhausted. The Panzer will take D2 pins, but it'll get an additional hit for each model under the template.
There! There's the Americans! Fire!
And it manages to take out 5 out of the 6 Fireflies. So now the Firefly platoon commander is activating and using his 16-inch flight. He's flying over and setting up for a later turn to try and grab the intelligence marker. And the Americans are up again with the Paragons, and they are going to be running.
Come on, men. They need our help. Let's move.
And after generating a point of guts and completing their run order, they're going to use their guts to put the Kodiak Walker's dice back in the bag. And immediately pulling that dice out of the bag, the Kodiak is now going. It's going to be firing outside of 6 inches but it will be standing still and firing at the Noctalben that have the objective. After 2 rounds of HMG firing due to only having 15 American dice and having 24 shots, and firing the 4 autocannon shots, they managed to take out the entire squad. Meaning now Coot Jenkins is free again and ready for an infantry unit to secure him.
What the hell is going on? Where am I? I need to get back to my gold.
Now passing an order test here, dropping down from the sky, the Nachtjägers now passing their order test, dropping down just like Fireflies would, and they are going to grab Coot Jenkins and secure the intelligence marker.
What the hell is that thing?
After passing order test, Heinrich Gross making it onto the board finally, and generating a surging die using his Rift Mastery to give it to the Nachtjägers with Coot Jenkins, and then using his Point of Guts to put their dice back in the bag so they're able to now try and flee with the objective marker.
Yes, it is all going to plan. These stupid Americans, they truly underestimate our power.
But a 6-man squad of Fireflies drops down from the sky and given an advance order, and they are going to fire in point-blank range with their Tesla Thompsons at the Nachtjägers that have Coot Jenkins.
Now's their chance, boys. Gun them down.
I'll see you in hell.
That's right, Jerry, tell them. Now fire.
But unfortunately, being damage value 6 and needing 5s with the +1 pen, they only managed to take out 2 of the Nachtjägers. And now, after putting the dice back in the bag, that same squad that was just fired on are passing their order test thanks to Heinrich Ross being a company commander and being within command range. They are passing their order test and using their full run movement, getting ever closer to Rev's deployment edge to get off the board with Coot Jenkins.
Ah! Take me back. I want to be with the other guys.
And now Rev activating his platoon commander and just getting in the way, potentially getting in the way of any units trying to stop the Axis from getting off the board with the intelligence. And with that, that is the end of turn 2, and we're moving on to the start of turn 3. Now it's really make or break at this point. The Americans are up first, and the Fireflies only have one option, which is to use their full movement using their run order, get as close as they can to the unit with the intelligence marker, and hope to be able to go again after the American platoon commander or the Paragons can get close to them so they can use guts. Unfortunately though, after setting up for the first round of movement, Rev pulls the dice for his Nachtjäger squad without the intelligence marker, and they are now able to charge into the Firefly squad.
Fire, damn it! Ah!
And after activating the Rift ability so they're able to fight first because the Fireflies are out in the open, they manage to wipe the entire squad. So now with the Nachtjäger squad having the intelligence folder being so close to the board, Rev pulls his dice out of the bag and makes his way off the edge of the board here, even having Coot Jenkins' donkey Buttercup following as well, being the loyal donkey that she is. And the Axis now have Coot Jenkins, the interdimensional traveler, and are taking him back to a laboratory research facility somewhere where I'm sure he's going to have a great time. Well, there you go. This was our first game playing with the intelligence mission rules. And as you can see, just like the one mission with the HQ scenario, with the right setup, it can go pretty quick. But that being said, it was still a very tactical and back and forth game with me getting the intelligence marker so close to my board edge on turn 1. So shout out to Rev for coming and playing as always. And shout out to everyone here watching the channel, whether you're new or you've been watching for a while. Can't thank you enough. And thank you so much to all of our YouTube members and Twitch subs. The support means a lot, and I couldn't do without you folks. Well, my name is Mike from Mike Rolls Dice. Thank you again for watching. We have tons of new videos like Conflikt 47, Turnip 28, Bolt Action, one-page rules coming up in the near future. And thank you so much again for watching. Well, until next video or live stream, as always, keep rolling high on those dice.